the game. So pick your poison. You need something that can secure objectives. And with a Balmond, I think Yves, in my opinion, would be a better utility hero. But RSG, SG is lacking that damage that they so sorely need. So deny the Farsa. Take that Farsa up.
Yep, it could be. Farsa could be another option because right now they do have babycakes on the side of RSG, SG. That will be a definite focal point for Slate, right? They definitely need to kill babycakes.
At this point in time, with most of these heroes being picked up, I'm actually looking out of the current meta heroes horizon, right?
Yep.
Each of these teams may actually have quite a bit of available heroes to pick that is not exactly been seen quite a lot. Like for example, for Slate, they haven't picked up their EXP laner because technically speaking, yes, the Dyrov can be the EXP laner, but the fact that is RSG has already picked up a Benedetta in response to the Dyrov. So what can happen is that Dyrov can go to the jungle instead. And Slate, I was looking at Hilda.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very, very interesting. Very irritating, especially in the early stages of the game. You have so much damage, especially with your skill 1 coming in and fighting off in a one-on-one situation. And once you buy that Blade of Hephaestus, there's so much damage to be dealt.
Yeah, because the thing is, whenever you're looking at a Bowman from the side of RSG, right, that is one thing that you know that is that fact that they are going to be very aggressive in the early stages. And the fact is that Slate, the way that they have their current lineup is the fact that they don't really have a very good way of opening up maps, for example. As such, having a Hilda would have been nice, but we throw that all away because now we are looking at a Valentina and a Fanny.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the crowd went wild. Fanny on gear yet again.
Yep, I am gonna be on the opposite side of the fence for Slate. Just for the one reason is that
You want to see 2-2?
No, I don't think that they're gonna be able to deal with the Farsa quite as efficiently as they hope to, because they have to deal with BRAYYY, who's on the Balmond. They while they're trying to focus on Lolsie on that Farsa. No, it's gonna be 5-5, right? You have Diablo and babycakes who are going to be causing a lot of terror at the backlines of Slate. So I don't think they can afford to really go all in just to focus on the Farsa by 505. And this really is a choice of a variety of choices that Slate has to make. Like I said, I like the way that RSG thinks about their draft. There is no one single win tradition. Slate has to think about what options they want to expand to get the team fight win. And if they take too long to figure out, they're going to lose the lanes, they're going to lose the objectives, and from there, it's going to be a snowball side for RSG.
Yeah, exactly. And take a look at both teams. Very, very balanced lineup. I don't know which one I'm going to favor to because anything can happen.
Yep.
There's so much macro mechanics coming in from both teams. But ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the Land of Dawn. This is game number 4.
We are looking into match point between these two teams. Slate, all they need to do is win this one more game in order for them to not wake up early in the morning for tomorrow. So now the main thing, we gotta have to see, how is it really going to be like? Both of these junglers have decided to move on to their standard opening, nothing too flashy, such as invasion and such. But speaking of invasion, we do see that Benedetta, of course, did manage to cut in the wave.
Diablo is just doing Diablo things. He is able to separate Dyrov from the rest of the farm, or Adammir from the rest of his farm. But in the mid lane, though, Seilah, a third of his health, managed to survive. But this is why Farsa is mentioned as one of the better mages in this current season, because of the fact that early game, once you have your skill 1 and skill 2, you have a small stun and so much damage. BRAYYY already invading the jungle of Slate, knowing that Fanny really needs time and space to be able to effectively have that damage that she so sorely needs.
RSG, they are looking into the long game. They do not want to go overly aggressive into stealing the buffs away from gear. They would want to take one small little thing at a time from Slate. You know, that way it will slowly compound into something bigger in the long run. Only then RSG will have the foundation to be able to invade even harder. And that is how they will be able to bring down all of the outer tier turrets in order to gain more control over the opponent's jungle.
This first turtle fight, or this turtle dance, will be setting the tempo, but in which gear comes flying in Diablo out to safety. I wasn't worried about that at all, but 8 seconds until the Lord's turtle spawns. Man, if Bray doesn't get this turtle, the tempo will shift tremendously.
It is highly difficult for RSG to actually not get themselves the turtle, to be honest. I mean, we're talking about a Bowman, and we are talking about Bray. He's got one of the fastest fingers in MPL SG, but he's gonna have to work with something, and that something is going to be Seilah, getting himself a kill down onto Lolsie, a 1-for-1 objective trade, and that is going to be pretty nutty coming in from both of these sides. I don't think that they consider that too big of a loss.
Adammir really down low. Diablo does have the execute. I don't know if he was going to use that or not, but a little bit more reserved in this matchup. You want to take this to the long game. You know that against your bitter rivals like Slate Esports, it's going to be a pretty long game. You want to take it slow and maintain your composure, maintain your stamina, because it's going to be a very long run.
It is going to be a long ride. Now, Lolsie went straight in, hoping that he'll be able to steal the buff while incapacitating this fan. But that's not going to be the case. It is going to be Adammir and JPL on the other hand, at the top lane, being able to bring down Diablo. That is 2 kills for the side of Slate, while RSG is still eating eggs.
A little bit too comfortable over there because JPL just supporting Adammir in the early stages of this fight. But on the top side though, Bray tries to zone him out the way. The turtle is coming in super soon, and the next turtle dance is already on our way.
Energy is high on this one, onto the side of Slate and RSG and the audiences. Everyone is looking out for every small, tiny little detail that happens. And now here, he casually walked into a brush and found Lolsie, but Lolsie did not make the opening and of course did not try to initiate onto him. Not exactly the right time just yet, unfortunately, and of course they don't really quite have the people.
What is interesting about me is that both RSG and Slate are focusing on that top side, the EXP side. Oh, but hold on! Diablo goes down!
Shutting him down time and time again, suppressing him down again and again. Slate really have a personal vendetta against Diablo, and they know, maybe we don't have to target his heroes, we target him! And other than that, we target one of the most important players, we target the next important player, and that is gonna be Lolsie. RSG, they are not gonna take that thing down though!
Almost on his hands and knees, almost managed to get out, but taken out in the last second. That was a kill onto 505, the first kill over to RSGSG, but even that said, they are pretty much neck and neck at this point. Babycakes and FMM just going at it at this point. It's a battle to see who spikes the fastest.
This is probably the longest time the second turtle has survived.
That's true. There probably won't be a third.
There probably won't be a third. But now we are going to be looking at RSG. They do have got the advantage in terms of the Reaver control. Taking the second turtle down for themselves. Not much of a change. FMM!
Just in the nick of time, that was kill solidified by FMM.
Flies into the sky with the crossbow of tag. Slate has constantly been pulling in value time and time again for wherever JPL goes to. RSG, they really need some help when it comes down to opening up the map. And of course, every single one of these players, they gotta have to be very cautious when it comes down to them trying to make a move. Stop this! You gotta have to be careful.
You gotta be at
the attackers are going all across. Top lane, middle lane, bottom lane. They don't really care too much about the objective. They want to shut one person down, one after another. And RSG, they want to do the same. Every single one of the feathered airstrike completely misses FMM as FMM very gracefully dances across and past all of those artillery strikes.
FMM had to use Inspire for that, but it was all well worth it. But JPL, and there's some pressure yet again! In RSG's eyes, all they can think of is the fact that there is going to be a lot of things going on in the top lane, and RSG is constantly saying that this means that they are opening space for Claude to farm, because Claude is only one death in. Diablo, he can catch up whenever he wants because he's a split pusher. He can split farm top, split farm middle. JPL is living up to his name. Japanese guy, dude. I don't know, but he is being a ninja. You don't know where he is, but when he manages to find you, best be sure that's one shot, one kill.
Wow. RSGSG, they unfortunately don't have that opportunity. They don't have the way to single some person out very easily. The only way they gonna have to do that again and again and again. But Brave, he manages to survive for another second. Breathe his last breath for another second, but he still went down to the hands of Slate. Lolsie is going to be the next one in the eyes and of course on the target board. Slate has been constantly picking out all of these heroes one after another. But guess what? RSGSG, they aren't even that far away in terms of gold. The gold deficit is only 1,000 despite 6 kills.
Babycakes is still farming ahead, but Lolsie right there almost got caught by JPL. JPL hooked him in, but he's not a one. Oh, Adammir almost getting killed by Lolsie.
I'm offended, connects down onto Adammir.
Oh.
He goes in for a bit of strike and follows through with a flicker, but that did not connect and that did not work too well for him either. And that allowed RSG to claim yet another kill and finally second kill to their name as the lead slowly expands between these two teams.
That's okay, because I do have insurance, or Slate Esports do have insurance in FMM, slowly, peacefully farming up in the bottom lane, no one disturbing him at all. This is precisely what JPL, again!
Now Lolsie, he's gonna be in the gripe of the situation. Bray went straight in for the lethal counter and immediately flees out of the way. RSG knows that they can't afford to take any fights, as every single one of them, they may be pretty down in farm. And with the items that we are going to see on the screen, we will have a better idea with Benedetta, with the Bloodlust Axoni.
Now, take a look at the marksmen. 1-1 Claude, both have their core items. Corrosion Scythe and Demon Hunter Sword build up for 1-1. On the other hand, Golden Staff and Demon Hunter Sword already build up for Claude. And every single one of the members of both teams, they have what they need. Ruby already having a defensive items in Dominance Ice. And as we speak, Benedetta forced to buy defensively. It's not what Diablo style is.
I mean, technically, he usually goes for Bloodlust X, Brute Force Breastplate, and then goes for the Hunter Strike. So if he doesn't go for the Hunter Strike in the third item, that means that he's forced to play defensively and forced to build full defense.
JPL is just being JPL right now. He is a ninja, just waiting on that right time. You don't know where it's gonna appear. The hook misses, but the hook from Lolsie.
The hook might actually work very well for them. Adammir got caught in the midst of all the action. And Slate finds himself another missing person. Seilah returns the favor with his own personalized Phantom Death Strike.
It's a battle of fishing. Who can fish the most? Heroes right there. And right now, JPL, I've got to say, he's connecting all these hooks, all these crucial hooks onto the right kills. Diablo already taken out 4 times. It's 10 minutes into the game, 7 kills over the side of Slate, 3 kills over the side of RSG, but none of that matters because the economy is exactly the same.
Now Diablo moves his way over to here. Not exactly the right idea, but he doesn't have energy to continue, so at least that's that.
Seilah just peacefully farming up, so resetting is what they need, but JPL already not even zoning out the members of RSGSG, just being a ninja wherever he goes. He's just going to be hiding right there. You don't know where he's going to appear next. You don't know where that hook is going to land on. This is a very, very scary JPL.
The kills is very Slate heavy. However, objective is very RSG heavy. We don't really quite have much of an idea how this game is gonna be like. They are truly on the stalemate. This Lord may be difficult to deal with. Both sides, they are definitely not gonna be yielding to one another at all.
All eyes peeled. But
All
as
eyes peeled.
FMM is waiting in the brush, you have Babycakes already trying to defend the waves in. Babycakes just needs to have a little bit more mobility. Try to clear out the jungles as much as possible.
Understandably, with God, the Benedetta, at least the Benedetta is playing onto Unbending Will, so Benedetta is not losing any value from not picking the Festival of Blood, because in the event that he actually did, that means that he won't be able to use too much about his emblems. FMM, he does have the weakness rock down onto Lolsie, but this could possibly mean that Gear, he goes in only to find himself taken down. FMM,
oh, from the back line!
Weakness onto BabyCakes, he finds himself taken down. RSG is unable to hold himself onto the front lines at the top side. However, Benedetta went down to bring down the middle lane first tier turret.
It kind of seems like Slate is trying to pull in that lore that is spawning up, waiting for that 12-minute mark, and then engage. This will be the Lord dance for the books.
Ravaging plays from both sides. The amount of gold!
Oh, again!
Never mind! Time and time again!
You want to take a breath, right, Abstract?
I'm okay.
Every single time.
Every single time. JPL has been getting himself quite a bit of hooking accuracy, and let's not forget the fact that RSG, they are constantly being giving away all these kills, but yet they are still holding themselves pretty darn well in terms of the GPM chart. Diablo, you might be in a bit of danger, but Electrifying Blow ought to get himself away. So will Faster. Bray immediately dashes off, and this could very much be an uncontested launch unless Bray jumps right in. This is where Seilah steals away the Feather Airstrike to try to move everyone else away. Diablo, it could not get himself in. Relaunch.
First Lord goes over to Slate Esports. Oh! Again, the bull!
The hook did manage to land on the top of Lolsie, but unfortunately that is going to be the end of him. Instead, RSG moved on as they trying to bring down and put down the final nail in the coffin on the Adammir to no avail.
Lord is owing on the side of Slate Esports, but they lost JPL just for a little bit, giving enough time for them to reset. But oh, babycakes almost getting taken down by Gear right there.
13 minutes into the game and the Lord emerges. This is an involved Lord that will be marching into the bottom lane. RSG would never want to let this Lord touch the inhibitor turret. As such, they will want to gain dominance across the river line. And this is where Diablo tackles onto the Lord all by himself. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. But the problem is where exactly all the rest of members of Slate is. They have slowly moved themselves, float right in to the bottom side of the lane. JPL connects yet another one. Lolsie connects his 3-man hook. Allowed the rest of RSG to fall right in. Adammir and Gear, they are taken down. FMM dances around, allowing Seilah to pick off yet another one. 2 for 2.
An equal trade for both sides, but I would say Slate came out of this one. The FMM is still online. Will RSG, with the Mage, with the Roam, with Diablo, even able to protect themselves from that Lord? Better that strike, forced to be used to defend from this first Lord.
The inhibitor turret still stands as it balances on a single pebble. It is still gonna be A-okay. RSG's middle lane is still pretty much covered with 2-tier turrets. They are just standing up tall. But unfortunately, FMN is packing with damage, and he will bring down those turrets pretty darn easily.
Slate, second by second, just like a hot knife through butter, taking down as much as they can, ravaging them, pillaging their entirety of the Raiders village. And this is what the Raiders are meant to do. They should have the early game. What went wrong? Bray didn't have his farm. They took fights that they weren't supposed to take, and Gear on that Fanny already picking up. All these heroes are isolated. Diablo, nothing that he can do in the early game. JPL was always on him. Everywhere he goes, he's there. And Diablo, back in the graveyard he goes.
Let's be honest, RSG's lineup is geared towards teamfight. They gotta look forward to the later stages of the game where Bray can actually submit himself as the tank to open up the map a little bit more together with Lolsie. They gotta find ways to open things up and of course punish people. But unfortunately, RSG's lineup doesn't really have the opportunity to instantaneously punish people from the side of Slate. They can control for a long time. They can survive for quite a long time. But the only time that comes in is gonna be when babycakes go in the blazing duet. And Diablo, well, he's been getting busy in the top lane, brought down the top lane turret finally.
Seemingly, he was like the bait. Just the rest of RSGSG, the rest of the Kampong just waiting in the brush, trying to get that right jump onto Adammir, but to no avail. Adammir did not take that bait, playing very conservatively in the entirety of this matchup. And now the Luminous Lord is spawned up. This is the next fight. Slate already zoning out the rest of the members of RSGSG. And Seilah, best be sure, he's got to have that Feather Airstrike as well.
The frequency of RSGSG's members being caught out in the open with their pants down is definitely dwindling down to an all-time low. Slate's JPL can no longer find all of these random hooks anymore by clearing the brushes. RSG is starting to take this game really seriously and being very cautious. They do not want to put themselves into unfavored positions where the Franco could possibly be.
Adammir just trying to cut the waves, coming down for that flank, trying to start that fight. I know that BRAYYY is already starting on that Lord, but conceal play goes up. JPL
immediately runs right to the face of BRAYYY and the Lord. But none of them have yet connected down on the BRAYYY. One thing's for sure is going to be the feathered airstrike. That's just going to be popping right to the face of Gear. But that is going to be the winter tragedy that's going to be popping out of BRAYYY, but he will still go down. And now Diablo moves on to the backline. And now Lolsie, 3-man hook in and controls them all at once. But they do not have the damage in order to continue things on. The bottom lane will be controlled by the Foster while Diablo moves his way across the map. But now he has to outmaneuver against an FMM. Let's be honest, this is a difficult thing to do, especially since we're talking about corrosion size that eventually will keep touching Diablo over and over and over and over again.
FMM is just being like a mosquito, just chasing after Diablo. The speed, the sustainability that he has in this late stage of the game is just too much for Diablo. The hook misses just by a little bit, but then this gives a lot of time for Slate just to take that Lord down on their own, wait for that next fight and re-engage. But here, man, he did a phenomenal job trying to split the RSG group entirely apart. You see 505 just being on the offside.
Not exactly the hook that JPL was looking for, but it is a consolation. Diablo has bought enough time for his team, without a doubt. His venture across Sanctum Island forced FMM to move together with him. If FMM were to be with the entirety of Slate in the middle lane, who would have known what would have happened? Because the middle lane inhibitor turret would have been gone instead.
I mean, take a look at FMM's KDA, 404. That's an error right there. I don't think so. But he's just so phenomenal. This is just waiting for the right time, taking the right pickoffs, and then translating them. This is just classic Slate. Classic Slate and just textbook play coming in from all sides of Slate. All members of Slate, they're everywhere. Everywhere you look, except for JPL, because you never know where he's coming from. Lost out on the vision game, and this is where you need to go. Here, try to go and start the fight.
But it doesn't seem like they have managed to connect onto anyone just yet. RSG, the entire reign of them, they are afraid of the presence of JPL himself. As such, the rest of Slate, they are going to be moving themselves right into the faces of RSG. A premature feathered airstrike will be popped in order to clear out every single wave here in the middle lane. No more feathered airstrike for the next fight.
JPL. It's possible that he goes fiction right now. He misses that. FMM takes down that turret, but it goes in. Adammir.
Diablo immediately was hoping he would throw his way in, but unfortunately that is going to be a cutthroat that brought Diablo down. But he does have immortality though. Adammir prepares himself with the Business Strike, but that is to no avail to catch on to Diablo. There is the Baron base from the side of RSG, and that is going to be that's going to be popped from the side of BRAYYY. He was hoping that he will be able to bring someone down with a lethal counter. FMM flies to the sky with the crossbow of tank. Diablo moves himself right away. It is going to be like the final blow, and will be able to outmaneuver against Gear. The entirety of RSG were unable to outhold against Slate. 5 of the members of Slate is still alive, but they are all critically wounded and unable to push on forward.
RSG, pitchforks and torches all on. They are ready for the defense. This is a game, ladies and gentlemen. This is another successful defense from RSGSG. Slate backs up, waits for the next Lord coming in 40 seconds.
It all depends on that perfect play from RSG. They don't really have anything else left into their base. It's a barren wasteland. Everything is covered in dust and sand. No more turns to stand on top of the core, and it is left to defend for itself and its 5 other brethren that's fighting for it. RSGSG, they don't really care about much gold now, but one thing that they're gonna have to care about is the fact that a lot will be spawning in and reporting in 5 more seconds.
The main game plan is to take down FMM. Once you take FMM down, you open up enough time to go in.
As all things goes down to an all-time low in terms of energy, as well as all of Slate's movements. No one knows where everyone else is. RSG have got no idea. They're completely blind in the darkness. They don't want to move right out because one wrong move and they will be destroyed. Just from a bloody hunt. just from an iron hook. Anything could happen to the reins of
Oh, but a
RSG,
flank!
but instead it is going to be Slate into a concealed play, pops right behind our RSG. 505 is on the pop,
505!
to the back, and that is going to defend the aspect. They did manage to play very well on the side of Adammir as well, JBL.
Oh, but a flank,
however,
defending!
He's still in the base, he's trying to work onto the back door, but RSG, they found themselves out. They found out that Gear was trying to pull a quick one off of them, but all in all, it is the two front lines that is taken down, and the back lines of Slate, they are still alive for the reckoning.
But we missed that entirely. As the fight was happening, the flank was going on. Gear was going into the back line, straight into the back line. It's so hard to take FMM down, but 505 on the other side, also a mirror KDA. It's so hard to take this Sparsa down. Every single time he's there, RSG will not falter.
We do have a retribution and lethal counter combo that could happen anytime. He took the Lord! Bray brings one down! And that is gonna be Gear, the Blade Dancer! There is down onto the ground.
And just like that, the economy has evened out yet again. RSG, SG, and Slate, we are on neutral grounds.
The tides have shifted, and RSG, the cheering with joy, as now it is going to be a wave of blue. Or rather, rain in this case, because they are on the red side, that will be crashing onto the side of Slate. But will it ever come up to fruition? Maybe! As Lolsie immediately busted him down by the hands of 505. Seilah reclines it all in action.
But FMM!
Down to the rest of them. FMM hops, give it a jump. He does have the win on nature. Trying to get himself away, but the rest of our RSG is going to be crumbling themselves right on top of the side of Slate. With FMM, the final members remaining as RSG takes the march through middle lane with only an FMM to cover with, and that is no problem for them unless Gear pops in and do the favors for them. But the Lord is still running. Two members from the RSG is still pretty good. By the side. Oh, baby.
A wipeout and a decisive victory from RSG-SG. What is this series, guys? Slate and RSG back to square one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a BO1.
This part is a BO1 now. Match point into a true match point.
Look at Bray.
Everyone,
man,
he's dying.
everyone is down onto their foreheads. Everyone is gonna have a problem with this upcoming game because this is tough to watch, especially and even for the members of RSG after such a painstaking climb to get themselves away from the danger zone. They're not exactly away, but all they gotta do is take one more win.
Yeah, both teams need a savior. Don't worry on the Castles Desk. I'm your savior.